Hello. It is Tuesday morning, February 28th, 2023, and I just completed my third Perry Mason book, and it's a lot of fun. I love these Perry Mason books. One thing I really enjoy about the books is the covers. They're different depending on the printing dates. These have the very beautiful covers that inspire intrigue and really make me want to read it. I just finished reading Treasure Island, which I did not like at all. Thought it was extremely boring. And to go back to a Perry Mason book, which is fun and lighthearted, is a lot refreshing after a book that I didn't enjoy. So this book, The Case of the Buried Clock. I mean, who doesn't want to read it when you hear a title like that? It's like, why would they bury a clock? And I'm not going to get any spoilers in this, so I'll mess it up for anybody. But the explanation for why they'd bury a clock is nothing you'd ever think of. And what I really love about books is I learn things even in fiction books that I didn't know. So I'm not sure how many people know what sidereal time is, or they also refer to that as star time. I knew nothing of it other than I think it had something to do with leap year, but not quite sure that's correct. But you could look up sidereal time, but if you're going to read this book, I suggest that you don't look it up and that you rely on the explanation in the book as it's very thorough. The interesting thing about this book more than the other two is it jumps right into the action. Um, Sometimes there's background and character build before they get into the actual crime, but this one goes right into it, and that was pretty cool. The other thing that I liked about it was the setting. It was in the mountains, involved a cabin, and described beautiful stars, and that you could just reach up and pluck them out of the sky. And that setting was really attractive to me, and I liked it. And these stories eventually you get the explanation at the end, kind of like Scooby Doo. When you first start reading it, you think, "Man, am I stupid because I can't understand what's happening?" But that is by design. It takes you to the end of the book to really see what's going on. These are not cases that are like watching movies and you go, oh, I know what's going to happen. It's going to be this, this, and this. You'll never, ever figure out what is going on in this book until the very end. And if there's any critique that someone could give to this book in particular, maybe more so than the previous two that I read, is that there are some kind of borderline ridiculous details that you sit there and go, "Oh, that would never happen." It sounds like this melee involving, a whole bunch of people doing all kinds of weird stuff to get something to turn out a certain way, and it might be a little far fetched, but it's fun. That's why I say these books are not to be taken too seriously. They're fiction fun. That's what I like about them. And again, compared to the Agatha Christie's books that I read and stuff, they were far fetched too. And a couple of them I thought were more far fetched than the prior two Perry Mason books I read. Maybe this one's on par, maybe a little more far fetched than the Agatha Christie ones. But I enjoy these, it seems like, more. And I'm not sure why, but I guess it's more creative. The ideas and solutions are more creative. They're not things that you would consider to be normal plot lines for a murder mystery. So anyway, I'm still enjoying these. I'm going to keep buying these until I either get burned out or read all of them. And there's a whole ton of these. So again, Earl Stanley Gardner is one of the most read authors in history. And it's kind of unfortunate that Perry Mason, the TV show in the 50s, kind of typecast this whole thing, because you think of all the stories as these kind of boring black and white. And a lot of the books have, similar artwork that tend to make it more dated and boring also. That's why I try to find these on eBay that have the more creative graphic covers, because I really love the covers. I could see somebody collecting these ones with these nice covers. So anyway, I had fun with this, and I've got 3 books down, including Les Miserables and Treasure Island. I can see what's on my list. I still have Swiss Family Robinson, Hunchback of Notre Dame, who's also by Victor Hugo, who also wrote Les Miserables. And I've got Dangerous Liaisons. Let's see, that would be 6. And then what's the 7th one? The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. Old Man the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. But those were not on my original, I don't think, group of 7. But anyway, I every year I post a group of 7 pictures on my Facebook, and I read through those 7 books, and then I do another stack of 7. I see how many stacks I can get done by the end of the year. This is 230 pages, 231, I believe. And I read this in less than a week. So let's see, the Treasure Island, I believe, was 200 even. Let's see here. 208. I didn't like that book. I went through it faster, I think, than this one. And the reason was I wanted to get rid of it. So I got to figure out what the next one is. I don't review all of my books. I put some short descriptions on Facebook sometimes. I'm not going to review Treasure Island because I thought it sucked, and preferred Pirates of the Caribbean on film any day to that. But highly recommend The Case of the Buried Clock if you want to have fun. All right, I'm out.